Good evening once again. Welcome to this channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share to your peers who are joining Form 4. Today we are going to have a look on the bases, and of course we'll be able to define what is a base, to define base, then classify them depending on their strength, that is strong. Number 2, weak, and how they ionize or dissociates in terms of the equations, their equations. So let's start with number 1. What is a base? So just like an acid, a base is a substance that completely dissociates or partially dissociates to give hydroxide ions as the only negatively charged ions, which are the key terms here: completely dissociates or partially dissociates to give hydroxide ions as the only negatively charged ions. Then we go to the strength. Number 1, we have strong bases. These ones ionizes completely. In water to produce hydroxide ions. They have a pH value of above 11, and they are good conductors, good electrical current conductors. They are good electrical current conductors because they are good electrolytes. They are good electrolytes, that's what you can say. They include we have sodium hydroxide. Now sodium hydroxide dissociates in water. It can be a solid or a liquid. or aqueous, not a liquid. It can be solid. Then you dissolve it in water. Then it will give you sodium ions plus the hydroxide ions, aqueous. You can have potassium hydroxide, which is also aqueous, to give you potassium ions plus hydroxide ions in aqueous state. Then we say these are strong bases, and therefore we can say that these bases have high pH value, high pH values, and are good conductors of electricity. Then we also have weak bases. And we can say that a weak base just behaves the same thing with like that of the weak acids. The difference is that acids produces hydrogen ions and the weak base produces hydroxide ions, and therefore you can say they are bases that partially dissociates or ionizes in water to give fewer hydroxide ions, and therefore they have fewer hydroxide ions, which leads to them having a lower pH, therefore making them poor conductors of electricity and current. An example of that is ammonia solution. Where you are supposed to know how this ammonia solution is formed or produced. Now, if we have ammonia gas, then we dissolve it in water. Then it will give us ammonia solution in the form of ammonium hydroxide. Like that. Then this ammonium hydroxide is able to dissociate in water. To give us ammonium ion which we usually draw in structure and bonding, and the hydroxide ion is also obtained. And therefore we have the key points we are supposed to note down or to know is all about the number of hydrogen ions are responsible for electrical conductivity, the number of hydrogen ions are responsible for electrical conductivity and also responsible for the acidic properties or basic nature, acidic nature, not basic, or acidic nature of the solution. That's number one. Number two, hydroxide ions so the number of hydroxide ions are responsible for the alkalinity or the alkaline properties or the basic properties of a substance, are responsible for the basic properties of a substance, And another NB is the higher the number of hydrogen ions, the higher the number of hydrogen ions, the lower the pH value. The lower the pH value, and the greater the conductivity. And the greater the conductivity. And that is how basically these hydroxide ions and hydrogen ions behaves, because they are able to give us the basic nature and the acidic nature or properties of a solution. And that's why once we take a blue litmus paper in a solution containing hydrogen ions, it will turn to red. And once we take a red litmus paper in a solution containing hydroxide ions, it will turn blue because of this basicity. And of course for the acid is because of the acidity of the solution. And of course what you have learned also is that the higher the number of hydrogen ions, the lower the pH value and the greater the conductivity. And also for the hydroxide ions is that the higher the number of hydroxide ions, the higher the pH value and the greater the conductivity. Again, it is almost the same. Thank you for joining us, for watching, for subscribing, sharing and liking. Thank you and be blessed.